Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Kara.
So, Kara, it's been a hot minute since we've had you on here because of the wedding and all the traveling you've been doing recently. I know we have a lot of new people that have started following us, so I thought we should just say hi to them real quick. Welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats podcast. Sit back and relax, and hopefully you'll enjoy the show today. And thank you to all of our listeners that have been with us since the beginning. We appreciate you too. So, Kara, so we had the wedding, and that was back on the 11th. And then you guys went on your honeymoon. So where did you go? Why don't you tell people where you went and some of the stuff you did while you were there? Because it was kind of cool where you went.
Red River Gorge down in Kentucky.
Yes, that place is very neat. And what did you guys do while you were there?
Well, we did some hiking, and then we went and did that underground tour, which was pretty cool.
And how was the underground water? So basically what she did is there's like a cave tour. And it's like clear. Well, you can explain it.
Well, it was the kayak itself was clear, and there were LED lights, so you could see underneath into the water, which is cool.
That does sound cool.
And then you could see like there's like fish down there, so you could see them swim underneath you.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty fun. It was cool. It was kind of pricey, but it was cool. It was like not something you do like once and then
you're done, and that's good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was neat.
Did you guys see anything cool when you were hiking, or any cool animals or land formations or anything like that?
No, but we were up very high.
Were you? Was your cabin up very high too? Because they stayed in a cabin while they were down there.
Yeah, it was.
Did you have to drive up like a road like you do in Gatlinburg, where it's like really steep and narrow and?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't really steep. Luckily, I had to, because when I was looking at the cabin, some of them will say you have to have 4-wheel drive, so I tried to avoid that. We did have to go on a gravel road though to like the end of it, and it overlooked like a ravine or something down there. Who knows?
Did you see any Bigfoot or anything like that while you were there?
No, I tried looking for him.
He's very elusive, the Bigfoot is.
I saw like there's a lot of like signs for him.
Really? That's funny.
He's everywhere.
He is everywhere, man. He likes to get around. He's like an everywhere kind of man.
He definitely is.
And then last weekend we had Thanksgiving, but before that, you were in Portland, right? Yeah.
Portland.
And what was the restaurant that you got to go to? Yeah, what was that at? Why don't you tell everybody where you went for that?
It's the same place I went last time.
Okay.
In Portland.
But you weren't there at the same time, though. It wasn't
Raven's Manor.
But it wasn't ready.
Well, we were a weekend later. It was a weekend later, so it was more Christmassy. Like they were playing like Nightmare Before Christmas music and stuff, and like a lot of the drinks were themed for like Christmas, which is cool.
Yeah, that does sound cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's called Raven's Manor.
So if you're out in Portland or in the Oregon area, check it out. It's really neat. We'll have to post a couple pictures of the drink that you got from them. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was Jack's Lament, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the one you got. There was a whole bunch of them.
It was based off of that song, but it was like because like in the song he's like messing with an ornament and he's doing experiments. Yep. So they had like a little machine that like created like fog inside of the ornament, and then you drank out of it. It was the worst drink I've ever drank in my life. It was horrible. Really? But I got it for the aesthetic. It was like a tonic, Mom. It was like
so was it?
It tasted straight up like straight alcohol. Like it was like lighter fluid.
Ooh, yeah. I bet that burnt. Down.
I'm pretty good at like I'll finish my drink just because I gotta finish it, but I could not finish it.
Huh.
I should have got from this. They were like a sweeter drink menu, but I wanted it because it was from
plus it's cool. It was cool.
Yeah. And then they have like a really good cheese dip. I spinach artichoke dip. That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah, you got that last time, I think.
I did too. It was really good. I got it again. Yeah. And they gave me some extra bread for it, like because they give you nice. It's like toasted bread, and then you dip it in, and it was so good.
Sounds yummy.
It was. I almost fell asleep because I was so tired, but because I'd been up since like midnight that time because that was my flight.
That's right. Because you're on the opposite end of the world. Yeah, on the side of the earth. Yeah,
so I was
just the United States. Yeah.
I was going through it that whole time. I made it though somehow.
Yep. Yep, and if you looked, I posted a video today, a reel or whatever, about the wedding with some photos from the wedding and that
saw
people
that.
can check out if they want to see.
Mario's making fun of your llama video that you posted. He's like, why is she posting a photo of llamas, but then it's about like cannibalism in the fucking thing? Let's go watch our new video about cannibalism. But why?
I don't know.
Why
maybe the llamas want to eat people. I don't know. Tell them to leave me alone.
He was like, why? What is the purpose of this? Why is it a llama?
It was cute. I was trying.
I know
to
it's cute,
some,
but why would you put it with
traction.
the cannibalism video?
Because I didn't think about it. Okay, I just saw cute little llamas and thought, oh, this will be good. People click on
that's
this.
not good. Mario was asking, he's like, why did she do this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't control her.
Well, maybe if you helped out, I wouldn't have to, pick stupid random things that I didn't.
Yeah, well, I was buried. I've been buried in work. I'm still buried in work. I'm trying to play catch up.
I know. I figure by next year we'll be by January we'll be doing much better.
Because I have another con in a few days, literally.
I know you do.
GalaxyCon in Columbus.
Yeah. I saw somebody was talking about that.
Oh, it's all the buzz right now.
They're going to be doing some crafts. They're doing crafts there or whatever. You know what I mean? Selling stuff, which I wish I could come see it, but I can't because I already have a craft fair on Saturday because I'd like to see how it is and how well it does to see if I might try that next year. But anyway, all right. So today, finally, Kara's back with us. Yay!
I'm real. I did not get murdered.
She really is here. I promise I didn't do anything to her. So we're going to go ahead. Kara's going to start us off today, do her story, and then I'll do mine after her. So Kara, what do you have for us today?
Well, I have a very buck wild story about a historical figure. It was very interesting. His name is the Count of Saint Germain, but he goes by many names, but this is just his most prominent and what he's most well known as under this alias. No one actually knows what his real name is, well, he apparently on his deathbed told everyone what his real name is, but we'll find out more about that later because it's interesting. So he's a European adventurer who was well known in high society at the time in the mid 18th century. His first appearance was actually in 1743, and his alleged death, I say alleged because there were sightings of him after, was in 1784.
So he's like one of those people that hypes up his, death so he can make a lot of money off of it and then lives high off the hog afterwards.
He's an interesting character. I will say that. Like the more I looked at it, I was like, what is going on? Like these are like big historical figures who have like documented cases of interactions with this guy.
Wow.
So he went under a lot of different aliases and names and backgrounds, and no one knows the true origins. There's a lot of debates for like where he actually came from. He could speak many languages. He could compose music, and he spoke of history from the past 1,000 years as if he had lived it. So that's kind of where he got his reputation. A lot of scholars tried to test him on his knowledge, and then he always seemed like he knew more as if he was actually there, So legend has it he appeared multiple times throughout history, and then there were some sightings of him of Christ. I don't know the validity of those statements. And then as recently as 1970s, which is kind of crazy. But a lot of people think they're just like con artists trying to like use his name and likeness. But I mean, he did apparently have. There were some rumors of him having the Philosopher's Stone at one point. So.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. He was an alchemist. That's what he's pretty well known for.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's why he's relevant to the pot. Other than like, he's keeps appearing over time, but records indicate he was born in the 1600s. We don't actually know when, like I said.
Okay.
Some of the famous people that he like schmoozed with and was friends with was the Casanova, the one that what I'm talking about, the one who gave the name of Casanova. And people like yes. Well, the one that was like a ladies' man, and he's literally in the dictionary because of it. He was friends with him, or like they knew of each other. I think they had like some rivalry because he was like trying to threaten his like lady killer status. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Madame de Pompadour was another person. The Voltaire,
she sounds familiar.
King Louis the 15th, and Catherine the Great. Yeah. Like this guy is like getting all over Europe.
Yeah, really.
So we're going to talk about his first confirmed appearance was in London in 1743, where he was wowing people with his musical abilities on the violin. He became a composer for the opera. I'm going to butcher this name. It's L'Inconstanza Delosa?
Okay.
He was very vague on where he came from when people would ask, and he was then arrested at the time because this was a time of where it's a little dicey where he appeared. Like, there was, like, a lot of people who thought he was a spy, basically. Because when you think about someone shows up, he won't disclose where he's from. It was a little suspicious, and so he got thrown into jail. And then he ended up leaving. Oh, he was such a cool guy that they just let him out of jail. Which is weird. Awesome.
Well, wait, didn't you tell me he was friends with King?
Yeah, he's about to...
just let him out of jail?
This is about to happen after. After he gets... This is his first appearance, of, like, where he's kind of noted in history.
Right.
So he was released in 1745, and then he cut ties with everyone he met there, and he left the British Isles, and he was not seen again for 14 years. Mm-hmm. So just poof, he's gone.
Interesting.
So in 1758 is when he shows up again in Versailles, France. And then...
Right.
Because he was known as an alchemist, and he claimed to have all these rare dyes, he ended up leading Madame Pompadour, who was the chief mistress of the French king, King Louis XV. But that's how he met him. He gained through her, because she was the mistress at the time. One of the mistresses, you know how it is.
Yeah, well, they have lots, I know.
So he gained the favor with this lady, the Madame de Pompadour, and who spoke to him, to the king, who funded him for the construction of a laboratory inside the... There's a lot of French names. Chateau de Chambord.
Chateau
de Chambord, which is like a French... It was the French's palace. The King of France's palace. Like his magical palace.
So wait, I'm curious. Yeah. Was he around the same time as Da Vinci? Did they ever cross paths, him and Leonardo?
When was Da Vinci? Like, what year would that be in?
I want to say, was it 16, 1700s?
I think that's too early before his, like, known kind of, I mean, obviously people later, after he was going around, were like, oh, I've seen him before. But this was, like, well documented, at least, this portion.
Okay.
It gets a little buck wild, and there's a lot of interesting things.
It just seems like those two would be a good fit.
I could see that based off what he's like up to. He's like basically in the pockets of all these and he's very charismatic. So he's able to he was gone for 14 years and then just rolled up and became friends with the freaking king of France at the time, and gained his favor, which is crazy.
Nice. Yeah,
and he actually becomes a part of his royal court and his personal diplomat.
Wow, that's
this, like I said, this guy is crazy.
Yeah,
like it's just weird that this guy came out of nowhere and just started doing all this crazy stuff. And there's all these weird. So this is a quote from Casanova. This individual, instead of eating, he talked from the beginning of the meal to the end. It may be safely said that as a conversationalist, he was unequaled. He was a scholar, a linguist, a musician and chemist, and good-looking and a perfect ladies' man. This was by Casanova, who said this about him.
Wow.
He rivaled him. But here's the thing, he was celibate. He would not sleep with anyone.
Huh. Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird, huh?
So during his time in France, multiple witnesses had seen him with the mysterious potion he kept in his jacket. And when people would ask him about it, he claimed it was a magical potion that he made that was what gave his youthful appearance. Because every time he's been seen, he always looks the same. Like, he looks like he has not aged.
Really interesting.
As I said, this guy's really... this is a crazy story. I'm surprised we had never, heard about it.
Right.
So, in the 1760s, the Duke of Choiseul accused the Count of espionage, essentially. Thinking as a spy, because, he's got a shady background.
Right.
And then so King Louis XV was very offended and gave the Count legal protection. But then I think there was some disputes, and eventually he had to kind of there was a warrant put out for his arrest, and he was in Holland at the time under some secret mission for the king. So here he is in Holland, and there's a thing, and he's basically said, okay, I need to either disappear now or I'm going to be arrested. So obviously he disappears, and we don't hear from him again for a whole another year.
Wow.
So this guy's really silly goofy. He's just like,
yep.
Hi, I'm here. Now I'm not here. So he disappears and he reappears after a year. And this is the time where he gets really weird. He basically becomes really involved in the occult movements, such as the Rosicrucian order and the Freemasonry. Okay. He's a Freemason, of course. He's a Freemason,
right? Yeah, all that weird stuff going on. Sure, I can see it.
So in Vienna, he also found 2 occult groups called the Society of Asiatic Brothers and the Knights of Light, both of which were studying alchemy at the time.
Oh,
so he is like going all over about this alchemy stuff. This is where he kind of gets all into the occult. Like before, he was just kind of like schmoozing,
skirting it or whatever.
And then, so in 1774, King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette came to power, and the Count of Saint Germain reappeared in France, wanting to meet them because he had a crazy vision. Now he's got visions.
Oh boy.
This guy has everything going.
Yeah, really.
And it's pretty crazy because what he prophesied, so he did end up getting to meet with them, and he tells them about, essentially, he outlined the French Revolution.
Okay, cool.
He predicted the French Revolution.
That's crazy.
Allegedly, like I said, how these people are, was very vague, but essentially what he was describing was the French Revolution, and then that time, I think the French Revolution was it ended in 1799, so it was a pretty accurate. So it happened like 10 years or so after what he claimed. So that was interesting. So he eventually dies in Altona, Germany, after befriended the king there, King of Germany. So he dies of pneumonia, and on his deathbed, he claims that he was an exiled royal of Transylvania. He was the eldest son of Prince Francis II of Recose, and had spent his early years studying at the University of Siena in Italy. So that's what he claims on his deathbed. People make interesting deathbed plans.
Right.
But then, so a year after his death, there is actually a record of him attending the Freemason thing during a major convention. Like, his name was listed as one of the people for the French Freemasons.
Okay, interesting.
So, right? Interesting that literally a year after his death, he's reappeared.
Right. And we know how he's done this before, where he'll just, like, disappear and then, and then come back
somewhere.
Yeah. Totally different and on a new path or whatever.
Yeah. And then in 1789, this is another sighting of him, the Comtesse d'Ademar, which was the person who arranged the meeting for him with Marie Antoinette, she claimed to have met with him after his death, and he looked the same age as before. Like when she first met him, which was like 20 years ago or whatever. He always appeared to be about in his 40s, was what people claimed. And so then, and again, in 1821, she wrote about meeting him again in her diary. And she was kind of like the most credible of like the witnesses after his death, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, that is obviously there's a lot more of his excursions, but that's the basics of what he was up to. And no one like had a good idea of where he like came from his language either, because he spoke so many.
Right. Yeah, you said he was a linguistics dude or whatever, so I can see
so
him.
It was crazy how this guy just kind of like appeared and then did all this interesting stuff, and then there were like the rumors about him having the Philosopher's Stone, and he had that mysterious potion, and he was involved with the Freemasons, which was interesting.
Yeah, that's all interesting stuff right there.
Yeah. Well, that was a history lesson.
Yeah, really. I've never heard of him. Interesting.
Neither have I, and I've heard his name, but I never looked into it, and this was I decided to look into it today.
Cool.
All right, well, what do you have for us today?
So today, I am going to be doing a little bit of a dive into the Skinwalkers, and what exactly is a Skinwalker, and all that good stuff. Because we've talked about Skinwalker Ranch before, but that's different. That's more aliens than it is actual Native American stuff. So today, Skinwalkers are canine humanoid shapeshifters that can travel between worlds using magical doors. So they're not the same as the Wendigo or other shape-shifting creatures. They actually want to be what they are. They are not made what they are, if that makes sense. So skinwalkers are humans that change into animals. Most often they can be found as wolves, and this is why that they get lumped in with werewolves and dogmen. Skinwalkers were not turned into wolf against their will. Skinwalkers wanted to be these monsters. They can be found or heard of in the Southwest and within the Navajo populations. So if you go out west, then you've heard of skinwalkers. It's a very popular topic out there. So in Navajo stories, skinwalkers are evil beings and witches. They are human sorcerers of dark magic who become skinwalkers when they kill somebody, usually a family member. Now, the thing to remember with skinwalkers is that most males are skinwalkers, not females. So it's a little different.
Interesting.
Right. Because, they call them witches or whatever. And most...
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So most cultures, a witch is female. But in Native American, the skinwalker who's considered a witch is actually mostly males. So skinwalkers are shapeshifters, and they like to mimic the familiar to gain trust. At its core, as a regular person who wants to do evil things. Because it is believed that skinwalkers wear the skins of animals they transform into, it is considered taboo by Navajo people to wear the pelt of any animal. In fact, Navajos are only known to wear two types of hides. They'll wear sheepskin and buckskin. And both of these are only used for ceremonial purposes. You will not see them running around wearing those. So if you see somebody running around wearing an animal pelt, then they're probably a skinwalker. That's one of the ways you can tell a skinwalker from a normal person. Or at least that's what they say in Native American culture. Anyway, skinwalkers, they're able to shapeshift into other creatures like foxes and coyotes, but like I said earlier, mostly they turn into wolves. And unlike other wolf creatures, they can travel between worlds through magical doors. Now, all your other creatures, especially werewolves, those are transformed by the moon, the phases of the moon. Mm-hmm. So with them, theirs is like a whole nother, there's all this magic that has to go with it. And one of the places that there is a door between our world and the other magical worlds is in Upper Antelope Canyon in Arizona. Now, this place is really cool. I'd love to go check it out. You've probably seen pictures of this place before. It's got all these cool, tunnels and stuff that have been cut from the wind. So there's, these giant, holes and stuff in the, in the terrain and that. So when it floods, you could get trapped and killed because of how the area is. And I'll post pictures on our Instagram page so you can see what I'm talking about. But a lot of people will go down there to try and find this doorway or whatever. And when it rains, and they do have pop-up floods that happen, people will die. They had 11 people that died down there not too long ago. Because they were trying to, they were exploring down there. Interesting to note, the Upper Antelope Canyon is actually on Navajo land. So in order to go see this, you have to have only a Navajo guide can take you there. So you can't just blobble out on their land by yourself and go looking for things. You have to have a guide, because that's being disrespectful to them and their beliefs and all that. So skinwalkers became very mainstream and were, front and center starting in 1987 when they were used as a defense in a murder trial in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Wow.
The body, isn't that crazy? So they actually used them as somebody's defense. So there was this 40-year-old woman named Sarah Saganisto. And she was found behind the hospital where she worked, okay? And they started, doing their investigation in that. And when they found her, she had a broken stick across her throat. And there were some clumps of graveyard that were near where her car or truck was parked. So they came to suspect a former English professor by the name of George Abney And he was accused of killing her, and he was arrested, and he was put on trial. Now, I think this guy did it, and I think his defense attorney was just trying to, get him off any way he could. So the defense's claim was that a skinwalker, not George, had killed Sarah. And they based all this information on the fact that when the police did the investigation, they found this broken stick across her throat, which is some of the stuff that they use in the actual ceremony for the skinwalkers. Like, I guess they use it in their ceremonies, like the witches, these skinwalker witches use. And they also found the clumps of graveyard grass, which is another thing that they use when they do these little hold these little ceremonies and stuff. So the defense claimed that the two objects were evidence of a skinwalker ritual. So Abney was found guilty, but then he got acquitted a year later. I mean, what a joke. I swear, sometimes.
Wow.
I know. It's like all these people that, do things and then they get off. But so anyway, so he was found guilty originally, but then he ended up getting acquitted, which probably means that, somebody talked about it when they weren't supposed to, or, something stupid, and that's how he got off. So skinwalkers have continued to capture people's imaginations. In 2021, a click on TikTok showed a strange skeletal creature jumping from a grassy patch of wilderness. Now, I happened to find this clip. I don't know how or why, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, and I can kind of see it being real and kind of not being real kind of thing, you know what I mean? So they say that a person is said to gain the power to become a skinwalker. This is really interesting. Upon initiation into the Witchery Way. Now, the Witchery Way is some kind of secret society, I guess, that they have, that Navajo, I guess that you can, it's not a good secret society. I mean, they never are, but anyway, so you can, become this special kind of skinwalker. So the initiation involved murdering a close relative, and it was said that a sibling would be, the best person to use to, be initiated into this group. Other crimes also associated with this were necrophilia and grave robbing. So, I mean, this does not sound good at all. So once one has been initiated into the Witchery Way, then they become pure evil, and at that point, they are allowed to be able to do the shape-shifting, to turn to these animals, and they can go and kill people, steal their essence, and do all these weird rituals and stuff. In Native culture, like I said, most witches are males. But yeah, so that's basically what skinwalkers are and how they kind of came to be. Some stories about them.
I wonder why they're lurking in the ranch.
Yeah.
The Skinwalker Ranch.
Apparently they're working in all kinds of weird places. And I have to laugh because when I was looking today just to see if there was any other videos out there are some that are so fake I almost spit up my pop.
Oh yeah, you have to be very careful. A lot of videos that are fake or just...
Yeah, or like you can tell it's somebody like in a skeleton looking suit, you know what I mean? Like one of those creepy ones where they look like part alien, part creep. And I'm like, yeah, that's not real. You're fake. That's fake. So you got to be really careful when you're out there looking on TikTok and all that. But like I said, a lot of times they can be spotted in the Southwest. So keep your eyes open if you're going out west anytime this next year or so. You can also find them a lot on Navajo land. So, and you should definitely check out the cool park that I was telling you about. But remember, you have to be respectful because it is Native American land. And you should also make sure that your guide is an official member of the Navajos, that it's, one of them and not somebody just trying to gain money off of them. And the place, again, that I was talking about that is called the Upper Antelope Canyon. So, yeah. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
No gems, no nothing you saw on the... Oh my god, I do have to mention there was... I don't know why I was watching this, but anyway, I was clicking around on TikTok and all that, and I came across this funny video of some naked guy wrestling an alligator, and I don't know why. Oh, because the alligator was in the middle of the road, okay? So, and I don't know why this guy was naked to begin with, okay? Why he's wandered around in the middle of the road naked. But he starts wrestling with the alligator, and we all know this is not going to end well for this guy. And next thing you know, the alligator has his leg in his mouth, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, why? And guess what state this video came out of? Florida. Where all the crazy videos come out of.
Wrestling a gator, of course.
I know, but I was like, this is too funny not to share. But yeah, so check it out. It's out there. Just look for naked man wrestling alligator and it'll pop up. But that's my funny little internet tidbit for the day.
Right. Well, if you enjoyed our podcast today, follow us on Instagram at Two Scaredy Cats Podcast, and please be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps the show get discovered. And tune in 2 weeks for a new episode. And to all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity didn't kill these two scaredy cats.